Hi students, this is B. Chiranjeeva. In this video lesson, I will teach about the waves. This is the first chapter in second year intermediate physics. Actually, what is a wave? In our daily life, this we will experience in several incidents. Say, you are able to listen my voice. You are able to see my picture. This is all possible by means of propagation of waves. Suppose when I am talking, that means the vocal cord that vibrate inside the throat, that creates some sort of disturbance, and the vibrations of the air particles carry the energy. Simply we can say it carry the disturbance from my mouth to your ear. So this is how the disturbance will propagate from my mouth to your ear is in a form of wave. So now let us define actually what is a wave. See, when wave is a pattern generated in a medium, when a disturbance travel from one point to another point with no transport of particle. So for this I will give you one example. Suppose if you throw a stone into water. Now let us suppose we consider the surface of water. This is all surface of water. This is all surface of water. And if you throw a stone into the water, this creates some sort of disturbance, and the stone will give some energy to that particular particles in the water, surface of water, and this disturbance carried from this point to the neighboring point, and similarly another neighboring point. This is how the energy or the disturbance carried from one point to another point and the neighboring point by means of vibrations. By means of vibrations. Say for example, suppose you just imagine these are the concentric circles. They are propagating in the forward direction. This is how the waves are the pattern of generated in a medium when the disturbance, when I just created a disturbance here, this will carry the energy to this point, and this is how they, all these particles are connected in a medium, such a medium which has a property of elasticity, elastic medium. This should possess elastic and inertia, property of inertia. So this medium, water, should possess the property of elasticity and inertia. Because of these two properties, the vibrations, when I create a disturbance, this particle will vibrate in this particular position. So this executes simple harmonic motion, to and fro, up and down. And this point is connected with the matter which has a property of elasticity and inertia. So this particle is vibrating and this is connected to the next neighboring particle. This will also execute vibration, a simple harmonic motion, and as a result of that, this will also move up and down. This will also move up and down, and this will also move up and down. This will also move up and down. This is how all the particles simultaneously move up and down, or just in the vertical direction. But the vibration, the particle will not move from this point to this point. Only the vibrations carry the energy from one point to another point. This is what is called wave propagation. So wave is a pattern generated in the medium when a disturbance travel from one point to another point with no transport of the particles. That's just the particles, they vibrate in their mean position only. Simply they carry the energy. Now let us just imagine that. See, I just I'll give you. Let us explain this in terms of elastic and inertial properties. Suppose if you imagine that this the particle connected with a spring like this, and this is connected with another spring. Just imagine this particle connected with some spring, and there is another particle also connected with some spring. This is how the springs are connected with different particles. Now you observe this particle. These particles are connected by means of a spring. This spring has a property of elasticity. Suppose if I vibrate this spring vertically up and released it down, then if I vibrate this direction, in this direction, vertical direction, then what happens? This spring connected to this particle, and hence it will also vibrate in the vertical direction. This will also vibrate in the vertical direction. This will also vibrate in the vertical direction. So all the particles vibrate in the vertical direction, and the wave will propagate in this direction with certain velocity v. So the wave velocity is different from the particle velocity. So these particles will move at their mean position, whereas the wave will propagate in this direction. So what happened here? The particles are moving up and down. These particles are connected with a material medium, and the material medium has a property of elasticity and inertia. That is why the particles connected in the medium also, every particle in the medium will also vibrate and they propagate in the forward direction. This is what is called wave propagation. So, if the particles are vibrating in the vertical direction to that of the direction of velocity, they are called transverse waves. Transverse waves. So what type of waves are these waves? If the particles are vibrating perpendicular to the direction of velocity of the propagation of the wave, these type of waves are called transverse waves. And another type, suppose if I press the spring, then what happens when I press and release the spring? Then the spring will vibrate in this direction. So the particle will move in the horizontal direction, not vertical direction. The particle will move in the horizontal direction. All these are connected by means of a spring, and hence, so when once this is executing simple harmonic motion, this particle is connected with a spring, so this will also continue to move. I write here 1, 2, 3, 4 particles. The one when vibrating, this one is connected to 2, and 2 will also vibrate. When 2 is connected to 3, 3 will also vibrate. 3 connected to 4, 4 will also vibrate. And the vibrations are moving in the forward direction with certain velocity v. And this type of pattern propagating in the medium is called longitudinal waves. Longitudinal waves. Longitudinal waves. So, by means of the vibrations of the particle, direction of the particle, we can classify the waves into two types, transverse waves and longitudinal waves. Of course, these two waves, they require medium. They require medium. What type of medium? It should possess elastic property as well as the inertia. What is the purpose of inertia? Suppose if the particle moves up, it loses energy. By virtue of inertia, it has to come down. The force, restoring force, will keep down. So if you just imagine, if I compress a particle here, when I release it, because of restoring force, it moves forward direction. Because of inertia, it comes back. So inertia is also very much important for the propagation of wave. So these type of waves are called mechanical waves. So these waves are called mechanical waves or matter waves, material waves, mechanical waves. These waves, they require material medium. What type of material medium it requires? The property of, it should possess the property of elasticity and inertia. This is a very, very important concept regarding the wave propagation. So now there are other type of waves which do not require any material medium. Say for example, electromagnetic waves. Suppose electromagnetic waves, another type of waves. Electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves. These waves, they do not require any material medium because the change in electric field will lead to change in magnetic field, and these two simultaneously, the changes of electric and magnetic fields will propagate and they need not require any material medium. That is why they are non-mechanical waves. There is no need of any material, even they can travel in vacuum. Electromagnetic waves, all electromagnetic waves, X-rays, gamma rays, UV rays, infrared rays, radio waves, microwaves, all these are come under this electromagnetic wave, visible rays, all these come under electromagnetic waves. They need not require any material. That is why even we are able to get the sunlight from sun to earth all the way, even though there is no medium between. There is a complete vacuum for some certain part. There is a vacuum. Still we are able to get the sunlight from sun to earth because these sunlight is an electromagnetic wave. They travel even in vacuum. They need not require any material medium. So this is you can learn in the other part of the lesson. Now let us observe the progressive wave. A wave which travels continuously in a medium in the same direction without the change in its amplitude is called a traveling wave or a progressive wave. So suppose if the disturbance created somewhere here and the disturbance traveled, propagated in this way along x-axis, and the vibrations of the particles along in the y-axis. So we can imagine that this is the way in which the wave will propagate with a constant velocity in the same medium with constant amplitude. This is what is called amplitude, maximum displacement. Maximum displacement is called amplitude. So now let us observe the definition of progressive wave. A wave which travels continuously, it has to move continuously. The wave has to move continuously in a medium in the same direction, without the change in its amplitude. So the wave should not be like this. The wave should not be like this. And this will not be considered as a progressive wave. See, the amplitude is continuously changing in this case. Here the amplitude is constant and it should go in the same direction. Sometimes like this, and it cannot be like this. So a progressive wave, a wave which travels continuously in the medium in the same direction without the change in its amplitude, is called traveling wave or progressive wave. Now we can derive the expression for the displacement of the progressive wave. Now let us observe the displacement relation for the progressive wave. Suppose we have the disturbance or the energy is traveling. The energy is traveling. And the traveling energy represented by means of a wave with a constant amplitude. And now, suppose you just imagine this is particle 1 and somewhere this is at particle 1, this is particle 2, this is particle 3 and so on. These are the different displacements of the particles at different positions. Just imagine this is how the wave is propagating along x-axis. This I write x-axis and this is y-axis. So at this particular position, the particle moves up to this point and the neighboring particle moves to this point and reaches the maximum height, maximum displacement, and loses energy and gives the energy to the neighboring particle and comes back due to the inertia and executes and goes down like this, and the particle at this particular point will move up and down, and this will also move up and down, and this will also move up and down, but these displacements are reaches to the same amplitude. So all these particles are vibrating in the medium. But if we want to find the displacement at some particular position, suppose we want to find the displacement of this particular position, which is at a distance of x. So the displacement of this particle is different from the displacement of this particle and the displacement of this particle and the displacement of this particle, etc. So in order to describe the displacement, we have to explain the displacement in terms of, describe in terms of its position from the vertical axis. So I write here, this is vertical axis. Position of the particle from vertical axis and after what time? Because this is not constant. This will change and reaches to the maximum. Say for example this one. This may increase up to this point and this goes back and up to this point. So this may be having any displacement at after some time. The displacement will change even though the position is same. At a particular position, this particle from vertical axis at a particular position, after what time, its displacement varies with time. That is why the displacement is the function of the position and time. we have to describe the displacement with position and time. It varies. And now the general form of the displacement is f of ax plus or minus bt. Ax plus or minus bt. So the coefficient of x is a, coefficient of time is b. Suppose if the y is equal to f of ax minus bt, if the wave propagating along positive x-axis, if y is equal to f of ax plus bt, if this wave propagating in this direction, if the wave is propagating in this direction like this, then we have to represent the displacement y is equal. The equation can be written as y ax plus bt along negative x-axis. So these are the along this is along negative x-axis. So this one. So we can simply represent, if the propagating wave is like this, the vertical axis, and this is x-axis, and this can be written as any instant at any position, we can write down ax minus bt. For another type of wave propagating like this from vertical axis along negative axis, this can be written as a function of ax plus bt. So this is the difference between the two types of waves propagating along positive x-axis or along negative x-axis. This is the general form. Now we can also write down the speed of the wave is equal to the coefficient of time b. Coefficient of time is b by over the coefficient of x, that is a. So this gives speed of the wave, and these coefficients can be identified as omega, and this will be k. So the coefficient b will be omega and a will be k. Now let us see how we can obtain the relation for the displacement in terms of its position and its time. Before going to derive the expression for the displacement relation, we have to know the parameters of the harmonic wave. There are certain terms we have to be well aware of these, otherwise we can go ahead. Now let us see what is the parameters of harmonic wave. The first one is amplitude. Suppose if you consider in a progressive wave, this is the wave which is simple harmonic. The particles are executing simple harmonic motion in which at different positions at different times it has different displacements, but at a particular point where it has maximum displacement. This is y-axis and this is x-axis. As the time is goes on, the displacement will change at different positions. Now Now we can observe that at particular position it has a different displacement. It has some displacement, and the particle moved up to the maximum extent and it comes down and reach to zero displacement and reversed in the opposite direction, the downward direction, and again it comes to zero, and again it rises maximum, reach to the maximum displacement in the downward direction. So this is what is called crest. This is what is called trough. In longitudinal waves, we call it as compression, and this is rarefaction. So crest and trough, the peaks, this is called crest and this is called trough. So the maximum displacement in the upward direction and also in the maximum direction in the downward direction is called amplitude. This is what is called amplitude, plus A, and this is minus A. So the maximum displacement of the simple harmonic oscillator or the particle in the medium is called amplitude. That is called amplitude. So it is constant for a progressive wave. A is constant for a given progressive wave, and velocity is also constant for a given progressive wave, as long as the medium is same. As long as the medium is same, the velocity will be same, the amplitude will be same. And if you go to the next term, wavelength. So actually what is wavelength? In a wave, if this is a wave, progressive wave, and with different display particles which are having different displacements, like this, you can write down. Suppose if you consider the distance between the two successive crests or troughs, the distance between the two successive crests, this is one crest and the immediate neighboring crest, or the trough, this is the trough, first trough and the second trough. The distance between these two is called its wavelength, or we can also define in another way. Suppose in the medium there are two particles, then the particle you consider this one is one, particle 1, and in the next wave, the immediate particle which is having the same direction and the same displacement, the distance between the two particles which are in the same direction and the same displacement is also called wavelength, which are in same phase. So we can define the wavelength in two different ways. One is, it is the distance between the two successive crests, or the distance between the two successive troughs, or the distance between any two successive particles which are in same phase in two different waves. See, these two are in the same phase, the same direction, but these two cannot be distance between these two cannot be considered as wavelength. We have to consider one particle in this wave, we have to consider the another particle in the second wave. So if you consider this particle 3, then you have to take 4. So distance between 3 and 4 is also wavelength. So distance between 1 and 2, these two are having same phase. That means both are same in its size, magnitude and in direction. And 3 and 4, 3 is one particle in this wave, and 4 is the immediate particle in the next wave. Both are having same magnitude and in same direction. So we can simply say the two particles which are in same phase with which are in the two successive waves is called wavelength. This is also most important. So wavelength is lambda. Or we can also define the distance traveled in a complete oscillation. This is the distance traveled in one complete oscillation. This is one oscillation and this is another half oscillation. So for the complete oscillation, it will travel a distance of lambda. The displacement is lambda. This is also called lambda for one complete vibration. Now the next definition is frequency. So how do we define frequency? Frequency is the number of vibrations in 1 second, number of oscillations, complete oscillations in 1 second. This is one oscillation and this is the second oscillation and this is the third oscillation. So the number of oscillations or number of complete waves that produce in 1 second, number of waves, number of oscillations produced in number of oscillations in 1 second is called its frequency. Number of oscillations, complete vibration, full cycles, number of full cycles. This is called one cycle. This is called another cycle. This is called another cycle. So how many such cycles are repeated in 1 second is called its frequency. Or a particle which is executing simple harmonic motion, start from mean position, moves up, comes down to the mean position and goes back to the opposite direction and again comes to mean position. Or a particle executing from mean position moves right side to the maximum displacement and comes back to zero mean position and moves in the opposite direction and comes back to its mean position. So this is called one complete cycle, one oscillation. So the number of oscillations, such oscillations produced in 1 second is called its frequency. Its unit is Hertz, cycles per second. Its unit is Hertz or cycles per second. Amplitude, SI unit is meter. Wavelength, SI unit is meter. Frequency, cycle per second or simply Hertz. And next one is time period. The time taken for one complete oscillation is called time period. So it started from this position and again comes to, this is the time taken for one complete vibration to and from. So started from this point mean position, moves to extreme end A, comes to mean position and move to extreme another negative side B and comes to O. So this is how it moved from O to A, O to B and comes back O to A and this moves like this and reaches to B and come back to O. So how much time does it take to move from O to A to B and B to O? This gives its time period. This is the time taken for one complete oscillation. One complete oscillation. So this is what is called time period. And next, angular frequency. Now let us go to another important concept, that is angular frequency, omega. This is denoted with omega. The frequency denoted with nu. So the angle described by the particle in complete vibration is 2 pi. So omega can be defined as 2 pi times its frequency. So if the frequency is 3, then it is the angular frequency is 2 pi times 3. 3 times 2 pi. So we can write down the angular frequency is 2 pi times nu, or nu is equal to 1 by t. Nu is equal to 1 by t. We can also write down angular frequency is equal to 2 pi by t. This is the relation for angular frequency. Or scientifically, it is also called angular velocity. It is the angular velocity with which it is moving, the particle is moving. This is also constant for a progressive wave. The time period is constant for a progressive wave. Time period for any particle is same. Wavelength is same. Amplitude is same. Angular velocity is same. And the next concept is angular wave number. This is denoted with K, angular wave number. So for every lambda, see this is the lambda, distance traveled, and it repeats its property. It repeats its property. So K can be written as 2 pi by lambda. This is also called angular wave number or wave constant. This is another parameter of the wave. And next, phase. Phase is nothing but it describes the state of motion of wave. Say for example, if we write some equation, displacement of wave is A sine omega t. Say for example, which we have studied in the first year intermediate. This argument omega t is called its phase. This argument omega t is the argument. Sometimes omega t plus phi you can write down omega t plus phi. This argument is called phase. Argument of sine function, oscillatory function. Argument of oscillatory function is called phase. This is total phase and this is initial phase. Phi is initial phase. Now let us see what is initial phase and what is the total phase. This is omega t plus phi. Omega t plus phi. Now regarding phase, let us observe these three wave patterns. In this particular wave pattern, the wave starts from mean position with displacement 0. In the second wave pattern, what happened initially at mean position, it has maximum displacement. And in the third wave pattern, we observe it moves in the opposite direction to that of this one. So in this case, the tendency of moving the particles in the upward direction. In this case, the tendency of moving the particles in the downward direction. So that is why these two waves are differed by a phase angle of pi radians, or we can say 180 degrees. And now suppose if you observe these two right here, for this wave 1, for wave 2, wave 3, for these two, the difference is, this is initially started with 0 and by the time it is the maximum displacement. So we can, these two are defined by a phase angle of pi by 2 for 1 and 2, these two. And for 1 and 3, for 1 and 3, for 1 and 3, the phase difference is pi, or we can write down this as 180 degrees or pi radians. So for these two, so we can express these two waves by representing the phase difference of pi by 2. But what is the initial phase of this? It starts from mean position, so phi is 0. For this one, it starts with initial phase of pi by 2. So phi become pi by 2. Here it starts from the initial phase of pi. So we have to write down phi is equal to pi. So these two are defined by an angle of phase difference of pi, and these two waves are defined by the phase angle of pi by 2. This is how the phase difference will explain. And now let us observe the relation between phase difference and what is the next term is path difference. So every difference of phase can be expressed in terms of its path difference. Now let us see what is the relation between phase difference and path difference. Now let us observe the relation between phase difference and path difference. See, suppose a wave is propagating. This is the way in which it is propagating. The represented wave is represented, and this is the one particular particle which its position at 1, and there is another wave, another point is under consideration, point 2. And these 2 points, particles at these 2 points, the phase difference, see the phase angle is how much? This is pi, this is pi by 2, and this is pi by 2. This is totally the difference of these two phase angles is 2 pi radians. This is the difference between the two particles under our consideration. And now, what is the path difference in terms of the distance? Now we express in terms of angle, angular separation or angular difference between these two particles. Now we are going to observe the position 1 is, say, as far as the angle is concerned, say this position is at phi 1 and this is a angle phi 2, then delta phi is equal to phi 2 minus phi 1. That gives delta phi. So the position here and this is the another position. The difference of these two will give you the phase difference. Maybe 2 pi or 3 pi, whatever it may be, or pi by 2 sometimes. But in terms of path difference, the particle 1, from these 2 points, see these two particles are which are in the same phase in two different waves. So we can consider that this is lambda. This we can write down as lambda. So I write here, if this is position x1 and this is position x2. So we can write down the difference between these, difference of the path between these two particles. I represent that this is delta x equal to the position of the second particle minus position of the first particle from the vertical axis. This can be written as lambda. So for every 2 pi by lambda phase difference, which is equal to the path difference of lambda. So we can establish a relation that delta phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x. So this is the a relation between delta phi and delta x. Delta phi is equal to, I write here, so just you observe the relation between delta phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x. So this is the relation between delta phi and delta x. So these are the most important parameters of the harmonic wave. Now let us go to the next important concept, that is the relation for the displacement of a progressive wave. Now let us observe the displacement relation for progressive wave. Suppose there are some particles in the medium under our consideration. Say this is particle 1, this is particle 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. And these particles are vibrating in the medium, executing simple harmonic motion, and we represent the displacements of each particle in the medium. Suppose the particle 1 at mean position, displacement will be 0, and the displacement of this will be to some extent, and this will be maximum, and this will be decrease, and this become 0, and this become in the downward direction, reach it to maximum displacement, and again decreased and become 0, and this become like that. So these are the vibrations of the particles in the medium at different positions at different timings. So if you just join all these, you will be getting a wave like this. You will be getting a wave like this. So this is how suppose this wave can be represented as you studied earlier. Any simple harmonic oscillator, its displacement can be expressed as amplitude multiplied by its sine wave function omega t, sometimes plus phi. Can write down. If it is initially having some phase, we can also represent with plus phi. Now we would like to express this equation, displacement of the particle, as a function of position and time. So we have to involve the term x. So what you have to do? Let us consider any particle which is at a distance x. This is the point P. The particle at point P, which is at a distance from vertical axis x. And if the wave is traveling with a constant velocity v or speed v, and what is the time over which, what is the time taken to travel this distance? If the velocity is v, the wave velocity is v, then we can write down the time taken to this is, the time taken to this is x over v. X over v. And the displacement of the particle, see the displacement of the particle at O, it will be equal to displacement of the particle at P. So the displacement of the particle at O will be the time equal to Now let us the displacement of the particle at p at time t is equal to displacement of the particle at O at time t minus x by v. Are you clear? So the displacement of the particle, that means suppose if this is started somewhere here, it is propagating this way, and this displacement and displacements are equal. So this is the displacement of the particle at O, and this is the displacement of the particle at P. So the time less than x by v at which the displacement and the displacement at P will be equal. Therefore, we can write down y is equal to a sine, instead of t you can write down, how much you can write down, t minus x by v, you can write down t minus x by v. That is the formula for the displacement of y expressed in terms of x and omega. So after simplification, what happened? Y is equal to a sine omega t minus omega by v into x minus omega by v into x. Now y is equal to a sine omega t minus, this is the some constant represented with k into x. This k is called wave number. This k is called wave number. Here k is wave number or wave constant. Wave constant, where k is equal to, therefore we can write down in general y x of t is equal to a sine omega t minus kx. So the coefficient of t and the coefficient of x, the coefficient of t is omega, coefficient of x is k. Therefore, speed of this wave can be written as omega by k. So this is the relation for the displacement expressed in terms of its position and time. A sine omega t minus kx. So this is all regarding the displacement relation. And the displacement relation can be expressed in different forms. So the displacement of particle in a progressive wave represented with y of x t is equal to a sine omega t minus kx. This is a progressive wave equation for its displacement. And now we can find the value of omega is equal to 2 pi by t, and value of k, wave number, is equal to 2 pi by lambda. And as you know, you can convert this equation as y is equal to a sine, instead of omega you write down 2 pi by t into t minus, instead of k you can write down 2 pi by lambda into x. This is another form of the equation, progressive wave equation. And now you can also write down y is equal to a sine, you can just take 2 pi common factor, 2 pi into t by t minus x by lambda. This is another form. So we can represent, we can substitute the values, we can just convert this equation according to the problem given. In solving the problems, we have to convert the equation accordingly. Otherwise, we cannot solve the problem. So, and from this equation, we know velocity is equal to, as you know, coefficient of omega, coefficient of time by coefficient of position. Okay, but omega is 2 pi by t by 2 pi by lambda. So 2 pi cancelled. So this implies V is equal to, what happened now, lambda by t. So this is equal to lambda into 1 by t. Therefore, V is equal to 1 by t is nu lambda. This is the velocity of the wave. This is the equation for velocity of the wave. This is also equation for the velocity of the wave. These are the main concepts which we discussed in this particular topic. And one more thing, we can also express the progressive wave in terms of sine function as well as cosine function. Sine function as well as cosine function. Suppose we can represent the wave y x of t is equal to a sine, I write here small a, I write here small a sine omega t minus kx plus b cos kx minus omega t, kx minus omega t. This also can be represented in this form, combination of sine and cos wave function, where the amplitude resultant is equal to under root a square plus b square, such that a is under root a square plus b square and phi. Suppose we can also write down this with certain phase, initial phase phi. Then phi must be equal to tan inverse of b by a, tan inverse of b by a. So this is how we can also represent the progressive wave equation as a combination of sine and cosine function. Okay, thank you my dear students.